Morning, little fella. What are you? Gone, that's what you are. Oh, I'm a terrible animal whisperer. So, quite breezy today. It's 8:48 on Thursday, the 5th of September, and I'm back at the Landgard car park. Big old boat being loaded there. That one's nearly full. The green one behind it's gone, the evergreen. That was there yesterday evening, so that must have set sail during the night. Imagine a boat that big and that sophisticated doesn't need to wait for daybreak before it sets sail. Radar, sonar, satellites, etc. I'm surprised they need pilots and drivers at all, to be honest. They're fundamentally one step away from being just a massive drone. So yes, I'm here. This is the north end, the Felixstowe end of the Harwich to Felixstowe foot ferry. You can see Harwich in the background there. Dovercourt a bit further along. It's about a mile away. It's about 15 minutes on the boat. A boat which will dock here somewhere. There's no actual dock here. The boat has like a big sort of retractable landing ladder thing attached to the front that it can use for sandy beaches like this. It's a landing craft. And I can't even remember how much it was. I think it was about £4 or something to go from Shotley Gate to Harwich when I used it for transport linkage. Yes. But I've done 60 miles up and back along two rivers, the Stour along the left bit, and then the Orwell on the right hand side. A big Y shape, zigzagging backwards and forwards, 4 days worth. It's now day 5. This is actually a bonus day because I've taken a look at what's going to happen next week, and next week it's, frankly, excuse my French, an absolute ball ache because there is very long stretches with no public transport, no shops, very complex. There's another stupid river to deal with, the Devon. We're going to walk to the ferry across that, and then I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go home. Done it differently today. I'm leaving the car here again because the way the transport all works out, it's actually easier to find something that comes back a bit later in the day than to go there and try and get buses here now. If I did that, basically I went up there and then I looked at Google and the routes and stuff, and it turned out that I'd have had to basically waited about 2 hours for the bus to get to here, then spend however long it's going to take. It's about 5 miles today from this car park, this ferry here to the other ferry up there along the seafront of Felixstowe. About 5 miles of walking, and if I can get to that car park at the far end by 11 minutes past 12, I can get back here with some public transport to the car, pick it up. Then the plan is I will literally drive from here to my house in Berkshire, so it's a 3-hour car journey as well. Already checked out of the hotel, sorted all that out. All my luggage is in the boot over there. I hope nobody steals the car. Well, I mean, generally I hope no one steals the car, but specifically today because it's got lots of my clothes in it as well. So I am going to crack on because there's now, predictably enough, some time pressure that's just going to make things not straightforward and simple anymore. But I'm confident. It's 9 o'clock now. So basically I've got 3 hours and 20 minutes exactly to do 5 miles, which I think is probably fine. You know, Google thinks I can do it in 1 hour 49 minutes, but I do want to dawdle a bit, and there's a pier along the way as well. I want to look at that. I mean, I don't go as fast as Google thinks people go on foot. I think Google uses just a flat 3 miles an hour as a walking pace, but I think I'm a bit slower than that generally. Not much, but... So, yeah, hopefully the car will be okay. Has been generally this week. I'm going to head on. This is the Landgard Fort Museum, which is closed apparently. There's some Wicker people, which is a bit creepy. I do like the Wicker top hat though. They're clearly Wicker Victorians. Oh, there's even like a plaque. Yes, look, Victorian family, the Wickers. Created in Willow by local artist Tracy Barrett Brown, ASCA, funded by Felixstowe Town Council. There we go. Splendid. Right, I need to crack on. We did some of this yesterday, coming back from the point where the Stour and Orwell Way intersected the coast. The weather's going to be quite windy today, gusting 40 miles an hour apparently on some parts. Doesn't say... There's no heavy rain forecast, but we might get a little splatter here and there, but I've got my coat. It's actually quite warm still there, it's about 18 degrees, so although it is windy, it's not a biting wind. And yeah, so we're just going to do a little half day, mosey on up the coast to the ferry terminal, then I'll say goodbye there and then try and work out how to get back to my car and go home. That's the plan anyway. Just get a bit of extra in on the week. I'm starting to get a blister on that foot, under the very sort of ball. that seems to happen every time, so I don't know. Maybe 5 days, maybe about 70 miles is my limit these days. God only knows what it'd be like if I actually had the big heavy 20 plus kilo rucksack on as well. Probably quite painful about now. I'd be doing all sorts of complaining and bottling out of doing any more, I expect. Certainly probably wouldn't be volunteering for this extra stage. But I do want to volunteer for this extra stage because, as I said before, the day one of the next trip without this extra stage would probably be about 23 miles, which is just mad. So, I mean, the next week, I don't know when. I've said I'm going to do it in October sometime, but we'll see. It may have to wait till next year. I'm not sure. It really does depend on the logistics of it all. I need to go this way. Yeah, let's do that. Right, let's crack on. Right, here we go. This is me now for, well, quite a long time, with some detours. Blue disc, yellow arrow, Suffolk Coast Path. I think it starts here actually, technically, because across the gap there at Harwich, that's Essex. So yeah, this is probably the southernmost point of the Suffolk coast. Not Sussex, done Sussex a long time ago. And yeah, we're just going to do about 5 miles today, up to the next ferry. Stop there. So here we are, back on the heath again. We saw some of this yesterday. Much fresher breeze today. I've got the hat tied onto my shirt, as is traditional. The old string on the button. So don't lose the hat in the sea, but we'll see. I have to readjust. It's quite a breeze, and it's coming from the sort of northeast as well, so it's a bit cooler than otherwise might be. We'll see. Yeah, let's get some promenading in. Well, it's not terribly summery today. Right, back on the seafront again. Had to go around a holiday park which seems to have some kind of railed off private promenade there. I disapprove. There we go. This is Felixstowe. Oh, how windy. I've got the fluffy thing on the microphone and it's inside my chest pocket, so hopefully you can hear. Mostly reverberating through my chest rather than the air. So yeah, that's today. Around the end of there and on a bit. I think it's a golf course or something I saw. We'll see. Some big wheel there. I'll see some sort of promenade. I don't think it's going to be very summery and fun fairy today. I mean, schools are back in and it's what, 9:10, so on a Thursday. Yes, Thursday. There is a pier though, so I intend to have a look at that. I'm sure it must be open even if no one else is on it. Now I'm trying to work out, is that Ruff's Tower? Is that Sealand? Let's go for the full zoom then. Hang on everyone. And of course I have to try and hold it steady. So detail or steadiness, but not both. Alright, here we go, on to 20 times. Yeah, I think that is it. We're pretty much side on to it. It's got two large cylindrical columns and then a little hut thing on the top. I have no idea if anyone actually lives on there or not, whether it's just some sort of bonkers legal loophole micronation thing. Of course it's not none of that at all now. As I regaled you with on a previous episode at some point, that was more than 3 miles away from the shore at one point. Well, it still is. And at 1.3 miles was the limit for international waters to begin, but then by international treaty that was extended to 12 miles, probably to facilitate oil rights in some far part of the world. And that's now well and truly inside the United Kingdom and not a micronation at all. Or an oddity. I think it still has its own stamps and passport, but none of it's legally binding at all. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, it's definitely the right direction. Okay, alright. Can't dawdle too much today because I've got a bus to catch. Although if I do miss that bus, there's another one about an hour after that, but this all cuts into my getting home before rush hour plan, you know. I'll try and get at least the other side of the M25 before the 5 o'clock, so we'll see. Alright, well I think this is where I came in. So all this is new, going that way, which is good. A couple of big boats out there. I'm guessing since Sealand, or whatever, is sat on a fairly shallow sandbank, that must be the safe approach round to the north for deep water vessels. Makes sense. I think they'd probably just wait out there until there's space on the docks available. I think there was only 8 maybe, for 8 crane spots for these big ones. And they're not always the vast super tankers either. Smaller ships use them too. So. Yeah. Cool, right, what we got here? Yeah, toilets, might use that in a minute. Sorry, TMI. Yeah, look, big wheel. There's fish and chips. Yeah, this looks like what passes in Felixstowe for the touristy mile. Explore that in some detail soon. There's the pier. It looks quite modern actually. I don't know, I'll have a look when I get there. I'm a bit of a connoisseur of piers now, as you might imagine. Certainly the ones in the UK. Always happy to add another one to my list. Collect another one. I should really be buying fridge magnets from each one or something, but there you go. Anyway, then we pass on around the side. Now, I don't know if there's shoreline access there, or we go on to some sort of cliff top overview parks and such like, but I'm ready for anything. It's a short day. I'm not going to worry too much about the time. I mean, it's 9:20 now, but I don't know precisely how far I've come, so it's going to be difficult to measure with any kind of accuracy. So I'm just going to assume I can make more than the required 2.5. Well, yeah, about a mile and 3/4 an hour, I suppose. I think I'll be fine. I'm definitely capable of more than 2 miles an hour on these trips, and that was even with the big bag, so yeah. Alright, just going to go and use the facilities. Back shortly. Yeah, and wide. It's not much better really, is it? Still. Okay, oh, how much? I was curious. Not my kind of thing really, but £6. How many revolutions do you get for that? It's all that value for money. Amusement arcades. I mean, they say welcome, but the lights aren't on. They're not even open until lunchtime, if they're open at all today. I think summer holiday season's definitely over. I expect they'll keep going for a few months. Eke out as much as they can from the later season, but yeah. I mean, if the weather today is telling me anything, it's that autumn is coming. Early September, but it's quite a cool week actually, all things considered. And most of the rest of the country's been getting all sorts of rain and wind warnings, storms and stuff. Very unsettled summer this year. Coolest summer since 2015, according to news I saw, I think. Not sure what records they're using, but you know, makes the point. Who knows? VR 3D queue thing. Come in and experience the virtual reality world. Yeah, so you're right, mate. I've got an Oculus Rift S at home, which, to be honest, I don't use much anymore now. Don't know when I last gave you an update about that. It was good, and I did enjoy it for quite a long time, but ultimately, just the faff and the weight and the fogging up lenses and stuff, and the tether as well. I mean, I wish I'd had the wireless one, but yeah, ultimately, I prefer old school flat screen gaming. It's just much more convenient, you know. I don't really want to be there, I just want to play a video game, you know. Alright, let's get to the pier. It's the best bit. Some sort of civic centre there, or big theatre or something, exhibition place. No, there'll be a sign somewhere. And there's the pier. It's quite a modest one. It's, yeah, not terribly long. Probably one of the shorter ones I've seen actually. Relatively modern building though. It's almost like the Weston-super-Mare sort of era, sort of post-modern pier design. Piers built in an age that has long superseded any kind of need of piers. Not now, just wooden construction piles yet. Estimated length, I don't know, it's about 400 metres maybe. Maybe 200. I don't know, I'm not very good at that. Cafe on the side, yep. Standard. Some sort of hall full of fruit machines on the inside, I imagine. We'll go and have a look in a minute. Yeah, gym. Maybe it's a hotel. Yes. Small, neat, tidy. I like it so far. Let's go try inside. Ah, it's the leisure centre. Alright. Yeah, standard promenade. Oh, a bit 60s there on the end. Quite good there, like the big stained glass. Let's go on in. noisy, glittery hell. Hang on. Oh no, 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 no. We lose a lot of marks now. Oh, that's very disappointing. No public access. By order of Pier Amusements, no access beyond this point. Bigly padlocked gate. Probably climb round or over it if I absolutely have to, but let's not bother. No, that's no good. Well, we've got concrete top. Seems in reasonable condition. It's not all falling apart like, you know, whoops, sorry. like these ones usually are when they're closed. Oh, that's very disappointing. Well, that's going to cost it at least 3 marks. So the cafe back door there, locked shut. Oh, there's access around that side. Oh dear. So essentially it's just a big amusement arcade in a sort of home base B&Q style shell. And a cafe on the side. Well, that is disappointing. It's like pier as scenery rather than pier as participation, you know? It's a pier you can look at but can't go on. That is this one. I don't know why. Why? Is it just because they can't be asked? Maybe there's some sort of civil liability insurance that costs millions and they can't be bothered. And I can see, actually, yes, thinking about it, I can see quite a lot of damaged woodwork along the retaining edge. These are concrete slabs though. I mean, as long as the piles underneath are solid, that should hold. No, I don't know. I guess I could Google for it. Probably the Wikipedia page might explain why. I mean, looking at that, that's not like hundreds of years of dereliction, is it? That's been closed in the last sort of 20 years probably. I mean, this gate is definitely an aftermarket fixture, but has been here a while as well. Well, there we go. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards a 6 actually on Tim's Pier scale. Yeah, I mean, it's nice enough what they've got, but fundamentally it's not a pier really, it's an amusement arcade on stilts. Oh, that's very disappointing. Never meet your heroes. Alright, let's get off this mockery, let's get off this charade, get back onto the pavement, keep on walking. Well, it looks like a pier but it really isn't. Oh yeah, well there we go. No, can I even get out that way? No, that's a fence as well. Right, okay, I have to go back through the arcade, I think. Ah, this is just getting worse and worse. Oh, there we go. As I say, probably a 6 then for that. Superficially a pier, but only on the outside. And that's £10.10 for a cod and chips as well, which may have more to do with the price of cod and potatoes than anything else, but still. Oh, well, there we are. Right, we need to carry on then, which I think we're going to start moving out of the touristy bit, such that it is, onto a big long stretch of bits that people live in and walk dogs along. Benches of the dead, that kind of thing, and greenery. Oh, here we go, some context. 1905, third longest pier in the country at the time. Oh, wow. Unusual for its time, pier was created from timber rather than iron. Oh, okay, now I start to see now. Yeah, passenger services to Great Yarmouth. Second World War. Oh, section during the Second World War for fear of German invasion, part of it was demolished. Okay, new pier opening in 2017. Includes surrounding boardwalk promenade. Well, yes, but... So what, is that wood? It's all wood under there, not iron. Yeah. That might explain why it's probably not... Well, it's probably not dangerous or collapsing, but it's probably not worth the risk and expense of civil liability insurance. So, hence the big gate, I suppose. Yeah. Well, there we go. Oh, wow. Actually, no. Yeah, well, at the time it was the third longest when it was built. Oh, I see. Yeah, look, that is much longer than what we're looking at there. So that's not the timber bit, unless... No. So that's a whole new pier that they just can't be bothered to maintain. That's terrible. Yeah, look, the original was much longer. Looking at this, it's about 4 times as long, probably. Not quite Southend-on-Sea Pierce, but pier length. But well, there we go. It's a bit sad, really. Kids growing up today who don't know a really long pier or something. Actually, that's total lies. The Southend on Sea Pier is doing fine. It's got a flipping train service running up and down it, and a very thriving cafe restaurant complex on the end. Very busy. There we go. Right then, let's get some miles in. Keep an eye out for the blue discs. I don't want to miss any kind of inland detour up a cliff or something. There goes the Stena Line passenger ferry to Hook of Holland from Harwich International. Obviously a daily service. I like being by the sea. I like being by the sea where there's a shipping lane. I mean, obviously as we get much further north there's just going to be nothing out there. Occasional wind turbine farm and maybe a fishing boat or a yacht. Actual proper routes of stuff going on through here. Promenading like a good one. We got coming up here, Spa Pavilion. I mean, I've got abandoned funicular railway on my bingo card, but we'll see. So seafront winter gardens type of thing, terraces, lovely. Kind of like this stuff more than the glitzy amusement arcade stuff these days. I'm also getting old, definitely getting middle-aged. It's nice. Do like a well-maintained civic garden. I think this is probably the direction they don't take tourist photos from. Check that skyline. Cranes. You can actually see the top of the MSC, whatever the name it was, that we parked next to over the houses from here with all the boxes on it. Yeah, kind of dominates the skyline, I think is the phrase. Still, it brings a lot of revenue to the area. Provides jobs, etc. I doubt they mind once you're used to it. Yeah, I can still see Walton on the Naze Tower on the top, just on the very far side. I've walked all that way. But then that's what I tend to find when I look behind me along the coast. Can't really see anything around this headland here. It goes around the corner a bit here, so that'll be interesting to see what we see from there. Actually, I've sort of been there once already accidentally by trying to park there, and then it worked out my plans were all wrong, so. But I'm not going to talk about it. We can discover it again together. There's always some. Actually, I guess it's not that cold in there today. I mean, yeah, it's blowing a fair wind, but it's still about 18-20 degrees. A bit cooler than yesterday, I think, but still quite pleasant. End of the promenade. Not the end of the line though, clearly a path goes around the side. Just a quick map check. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way done for today, so that's good. And it's only just coming up on 10 o'clock, so I'm pretty confident I'll be sitting around waiting for my bus connection actually. But that's fine. Better early than late in my experience. Bit of van life going on here. Good. Right, let's see what's around the end. I think I'm seeing a yellow arrow on a blue disc at some point along here, otherwise I've made some sort of miscalculation. But that's okay. Why wouldn't the Suffolk Coast Path use this rare piece of promenade? I think the next one of these is Lowestoft. It's quite a way away. I don't think that's even the next hiking week's trip. It might be the one after. It might be spring for that one. It just depends how absolutely nightmarish this intermediate week's going to be. Oh, there we go. Cobbold's Point. Yeah. Now let's just follow this. Seems logical. Not seeing any signs to say otherwise. Had to stow the hat. It's getting a bit breezy around this headland. Facing right into it now. Hopefully you can still hear properly. I mean, generally you can. This is a very good microphone setup for wind, I find, listening back to it all. So, I mean, for a minute there I thought I had been hoodwinked like in Margate, like in Ramsgate, and I would have to go back, but no. Path carries on. It's just shingle now. Literally beach walking, so that's going to be a little bit harder. Access on beach is not possible at high tide. Ooh, how are we looking? That does look like high tide, actually. Looking where the green line is, green scum. Wow, okay. So, I mean, ordinarily, you know me, I'm willing to give that kind of nonsense a go, but so close to the end, I'd rather not get into an incident. Yeah. I mean, it's a path on the map, but I mean, by that they basically just mean walk along the beach to the end. So that cliff over there is the other side of the ferry, is Bawdsey. So I won't be going there. I'll be stopping just this side, perhaps where those beach huts are, you can see. But I think I might want to inland detour. There is an alternate path up on the streets a bit. Comes back to the coast fairly quickly, but I don't know. I mean, it's just I've been deliberate. I've specifically been warned, and that unfortunately does look like high tide. I mean, I could sit here and wait around for like 3 hours, but then I'll miss all my buses and stuff. So I'm going to go up then, I guess. Find the alternate. Rejoin where possible. Which isn't far, as I recall. There's a bunch of houses and stuff, and then it's back to the beach huts again. There'll be road access to there. So yeah, let's do that. Careful now. Okay. Yes, let's do that. There's no point risking a watery death just to save a few miles, minutes. See where this goes. Bit of suburban meandering. Golf Road this is, apparently. I think this area is called Old Felixstowe. Don't know if it's necessarily older, but certainly quieter. Out of earshot of the container port. Oh, there we go, that's the top of the cliff there then. Might just follow this along then. Don't really need to be down there until the tide's out. In fact, I could probably just follow this road all the way up there, to be honest, but we'll see. Try and get a bit nearer the shore if I can. Wait for it to open up a bit. I think it's all greenery along the top, so we'll see. There we go. Cliff top green, benches, etc. Just follow the back of the line of huts, I guess. Oh, here comes the wind again. Good. Last mile or so now, I think. Done well. It'd be interesting to get a proper timing for me going essentially flat out. Haven't stopped to have a rest or anything. Just plodding on at my usual speed. You have to get quite a precise speed from what I've done today, I think, when I get to the... Because I've been paying more than usual attention to the time today, so because of buses and whatnot. So I have to do some proper measurements. Be interesting. Yeah, lots of benches of the dead. Tend to be markers of civilization, but not always. You find them in the middle of nowhere sometimes. Particularly poignant spots that people enjoyed in life. I think I'm going over there. Ugh, bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Yeah, squinting away. I don't really see a lot beyond the end of the... I don't know, is that shoreline? Yeah. It's all small low-lying things. Hard to identify them particularly. Orfords up there in Oldberg somewhere, but I don't know. It's a bit hazy. Hard to say, don't know. Just keep walking and I find out, of course. But anyway, we've got like a day up, a day to the left, and then a day coming back to get to that red house on the far side. The river runs just in front of that, so yeah, something to look forward to. Alright, back on track. Alright, I think it's probably safe to return to the shore now. It's like a nice hefty concrete sea defence of some sort. Probably not subject to tides. Blimey, saw them just about hanging on to that kite, didn't realise it was quite that big. Yeah, a bunch of beach nuts. I was walking somebody else's dog there for a minute. Past a dog walker who'd let their dog off a leash, tiny little yapper Dachshund thing, and it decided that as long as it was near a human, it was fine and being obedient. So as I pulled on ahead, it was just looping around and keeping up with me. I was thinking, yeah, I mean, turns out I wasn't actually going to be doing another 10 miles today, but very easily could have been. Walk that little dog into exhaustion. Gives up when it's tired, I suppose. Right, it's got a golf course on the left. Wow, that is getting quite windy. Like literally a tumbleweed going by there. Look. Yeah, golf course with a link road up to the ferry on the end there. Bunch of houses. Probably the final mile, if that. And we're on 10:23, so I don't know, maybe Google's right. I'll do the maths when I get there. Another Martello tower. This one functioning as a kind of giant windmill on a giant crazy golf course. Beautiful green. Teeing off on the 40. Ah, exposed. Just going to contemplate the wind for a bit. God, that looks bleak. I'm going to forge off into that in October. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I may exercise the option of vetoing that trip. I don't know yet. I've got a lot of planning to do. Oh dear, another dog lead minus dog. Is that related to these signs? Yeah. Danger, slippery surfaces and deep voids, which is the title of my next album. Oh, I don't know if that's rain or whether that's just the sea being flung up and at me by the wind. I don't know, I think I've probably timed this just about right. And there's literally the other side of those little houses, the ferry for across the way, which is where I've decided to drop a pin in it. It's 10:30. I mean, that's pretty much bang on 2 hours, really, 2 and a little bit hours. So not the 1:49 that Google thought, but not far off. Maybe Google thinks that I'm younger and faster. Google didn't authorise me going up that pier either. Yeah. So yes, there's definitely water in the air. I don't know whether that's the sea or the sky. Right, let's crack on and get the last bit done. Then I probably ought to do some sort of wrap-up, sum-up sort of thing, like a proper documentarian type. Michael Palin, I ain't. Another one of these. Wonder when I'll stop seeing them. Probably not for a while. They were designed to keep Napoleon off of this country's east coast. It could go quite far up. So yeah, ferry up ahead. Nearly there. Ah, here we are. That is the ferry, apparently. It's got the word ferry on it, that's how I can tell. It's very small. And also not my problem. Oh, there's a bench. Fantastic. That's what I need. There's a cafe over there as well, but I need to check my timings for buses back and stuff. In loving memory, Bernard and Muriel Oxenbury. There you go. Simple, understated, like it. Right, bag down. Oh yeah. I think that was water, sea spray, because it seems to have stopped now. Or it might be a passing shower anyway. It's good. Right, I'm just going to sit down. Yeah. Oh, it's the ferry guy. Well, obviously, I don't want to look like I'm waiting for it, because I'm not. But yes, if I were sensible, I'd get on that thing, go over to there, carry on my merry way up to Orford, I think, probably is the next major place. That way. Which I probably wouldn't have made today anyway. It's more than about 5 miles away. I don't know, maybe. However, the ECP hates me, as we saw with the Orwell Bridge, and wants me to go up there. I did just now go to their website and check their route planning map just to make sure I hadn't hallucinated it or that they hadn't suddenly decided that this was optional or stupid or both. But no, it's about 12 miles that way, along a bit past Sutton Hoo, which you may have heard of. I think they found a buried Viking longboat there, longship. He's gone without me. Didn't even ask. It's fine. And then I have to come back down the other side, and the other side is about the same distance again, obviously, because that's how rivers work. They tend to be parallel, but it's just a trackless wilderness, although the ECP says that it's on a stage 5 open, so maybe there is a path. I don't know. Basically, long and short is I've got to do a lot more research before next week. The next week I go, not next week, next week's work obviously, but And I've been thinking a lot lately about, well, just doing, thinking ahead, looking at future plans and things. And I think now I've reached Felixstowe, I think I've reached the end of the civilised southeast, you might call it. Not that I'm implying everywhere else is full of barbarians at all. But just looking at the staging ahead, it looks like an absolute nightmare. There's minimal bus connections, very little railway until you get right back round to the main, off the bulge of Norfolk and onto the main sort of east coast of the main part of Great Britain. The main East Coast main line goes up there. There's just a few little branch lines. I mean, there's a few scattered little towns going north from here, like Lowestoft, Great Yarmouth, Cromer, but not a lot of sort of promenade interconnection. There's not a lot of vast estates of retirement homes. Pretty much since Bournemouth, like way back. I mean, we're talking like 3 or 4 years ago now. Basically, the end of the southwest coast path. It's been what I'd call civilised. I've never been more than about 2 hours walk from a shop. I've never been able to do a day stage that didn't have a car park and a bus connection at each end. I mean, some of the stuff on the last parts of some of the stuff around Weymouth was a bit crazy, but that was on the South West Coast Path still, around like Tyneham Gap, the military range that was closed open for public access on Remembrance Sunday. That day I did a 7-mile hike and then had to do the exact 7-mile hike back again to the car because there was just nothing at the other end. Impossible to stage any other way. But going north from here, I mean, up to Orford, there's like one bus all the way for that entire swathe of countryside, and that only runs once at like 6 in the morning out and then 6 in the evening back again, and doesn't even go anywhere near the next 2 stages. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I guess the bike is an idea. I've not tried that in practice yet. That's entirely theoretical. Using the mountain bike in the back of the car and using it as a kind of little mini transport. I don't know. There's taxis, I suppose, but that just starts to feel like cheating entirely. You might as well just not bother doing coast path. You should be taxiing everywhere. You might as well just be doing a film crew documentary of the coast path instead of actually walking it. But yeah, I think this is probably the end of the line in terms of convenient transport. I mean, even from here I've got about a 20-minute walk back to the nearest bus stop so I can connect through to my car, so I don't really want to go in that cafe for too long, or if at all. I'm alright. It's not really been a full day. Like I say, I haven't done it's about two and a half hours, I'd say, from car to this bench. So I mean, the bus is going to take me about 2 hours of public transport back. I mean, theoretically it'd be just almost as quick just to walk back, but I don't really want to do another 5 miles and still have to drive home with froggy feet, so I might work my way through. Anyway, summing up then, let's see. So this has been a good week. It's been an easy week, I think, in terms of difficulty compared to many I've done. It's the path's been mostly there. The signposting's been okay. I mean, none of it's been ECP. I haven't seen an ECP sign all week. Don't remember seeing one in the previous week either. It's going to be a while before I see one of those, I suspect. But the paths have all been accessible. I haven't got lost that badly. I've not found myself trampling through bogland or sort of wandering along the A14 for like 8 miles. It's been okay. It's been good. There you go, one guy coming across on the ferry, sensible man. Got his bike. He's not cycled all the way to Woodbridge and back. Yeah, the weather's been good. I've seen some interesting things. It's been quite mild, quite pleasant, summery sort of countryside walking, a lot of it rivers. Got one more stupid river to do, which is this one, the Deben we're looking at here, and then after that I think it's mostly straight all the way up. A little bit of mucking around near Orford, but other than that it's going to be mostly straight coastal. So we've done a little bit of the Suffolk coast path today, a little taster. That's going to be, Lord, it's going to be like going on for a long way, I think. Only with like less promenading and more dunes probably. And I'm nervous. I am. I know I'm doing hotels. I can go walking in October and November. I mean, this has been pretty bleak today. This is only just early September. I'm going to have to toughen up. I think starting in Minehead and going anti-clockwise is what I'm doing. I've done the easy bit first. I think the difficult bit starts pretty much about here. So I'm going to have to toughen up and work out some much more cunning plans than just, rock up at a train station and go ambling for a day. It's going to, even if I'm not actually camping and doing the proper through hike thing with the big bag, it's still going to be difficult, still going to be challenging. Not so much in physical capability, but in terms of logistical cunning. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm kind of nervous as well. I'm going to try and get something done in October, November sort of time, but late October, early November, but I will have to exercise a veto on that one. I will have to decide nearer the time, because I have to book a week off work at least 2 weeks in advance, so it turns out it's just going to be like razor hail squalls or something, or just like 90 mile an hour named tornado, then I'm going to have to say no and not go. Leave it all till spring next year. But I've done a lot this year. I've done 3 trips this year instead of my usual 2, although they have ended up all being shorter. So I think in terms of actual days, I've done 12 in total, which I think is what I'd normally do on 2 of my original big weeks. So kind of level. I'm trying not to worry too much about overall lifetime progress. It'll happen or it won't, we get there when we get there. But yes, I think it's going to get more difficult going forward rather than easier, certainly, even though these stupid fractal landscape of rivers and creeks is coming to an end. This is a little bit Essexy still, this is what you sort of expect Essex to be like. Suffolk, I think, is going to be a bit more dunes and coasts. Oh dear, capsize. Sorry, we've got a safety boat out there. Can't believe they've gone out in this with their little dinghies. Anyway. So far so good though, so far so good. I haven't worked out the mileage. I'm probably still on about, somewhere between 13, I've done 60 or so, 65 this week, and I was at 1320 or so. I think I can probably lay claim to about 1400 miles now, which, is about twice the southwest coast path. So if you've been following me all the way from the beginning of that to the end of that, I've done about the same again now, so feels good. Right, well I'm going to sign off because I can't actually, there's sun coming out now. I can't really sit around here for too long because I need to get back to the car, and then I need to get the buses to get to the car, and then I need to get on home. Ideally I want to try and get west of the M25 before 5 o'clock, because then I'll miss most of the rush hour around the M25. Mind you, the M25 it's a ridiculous thing. It's well over its design capacity. The slightest inattentional mistake by any driver on that road causes the whole thing to grind to a halt for tens of miles. It kills people as well. So who knows? I don't know if there's a solution. We should all be driving less. By rights, I should have come out here by train, and I should have a massive back with a tent on. But unfortunately, that's not really how it's all panned out. I'll have to think about that. Work out what I can do to either get back into that condition again or make that kind of thing easier going somehow, pack less stuff. Don't know. I mean, stupidly, that would actually make life easier if I could manage the through hiking, because then I wouldn't have to worry about any kind of connections through there. Mind you, saying that, there's basically no bus stops between here and Orford. There's also no shops, so I'd have to bring all my food and water and everything. I don't even know if there's pubs or a tap. I don't want to get to the stage where I'm banging on farmhouse doors and asking them to fill my bottles, but it will come to that. So we'll see. Anyway, that's not worrying about today. I got at least a month's worth of. I'm anticipating somewhere around 8 weeks between now and the next time I'm out here. Something like that. And given the rate John releases these things, you'll probably still be watching catch up by the time I'm out here again. So, anyway, I am going to say goodbye. Thank you, as ever, for watching. I know there's few of you, but you're all valued. And I will see you again soon for some more nonsense over the other side. Up that bank of the river, to be honest. But let's deal with this river next time. You can come back then. See you later. Goodbye.